Good morning everyone and welcome to the presentation of UnipolSai and Unipol Group consolidated results for the first half 2015. Let me introduce myself. I'm Alfonso Galante, Head of Strategic Planning and Investor Relations at Unipol Group and UnipolSai. So the first half 2015 showed a growing consolidated net profit for both listed companies, plus 27% at UnipolSai and plus 86% at Unipol Group. In detail, UnipolSai net profit gross of minorities was 455 million euro, while group profit net of minorities totaled euro 438 million. As you can see, non-life business contribution reached 337 million euro and the life one 183 million euro. The sector Other, that includes real estate and diversified companies, reported a loss of 64 million euro, mainly due to 69 million euro of write-downs on real estate assets that are currently being sold or for which a disposal will be set in the near future. Unipol Group first half result showed a profit gross of minorities of 446 million euro, whereas profit pertaining to the group was 255 million euro. Non-life business was positive for 374 million euro and life for 179 million euro. The loss for the banking sector was limited at 11 million euro, while the other sector, that is real estate, diversified companies and holding operation, posted a negative results of 97 million euro. Now a more careful look at non-life results. Premium totaled 3,772 million euro. On a like-for-like basis, therefore considering the disposal to Allianz to meet antitrust requirements, the decline was 6.2%, mainly due to the shrinking average premium in motor business. The slowdown at Unipol Group level was lower, as premium reached 4,082 million euro, minus 5.9% compared with the figure calculated on a like-for-like basis, thanks to the 8.6% growth at Unisalute, about 177 million euro, and to the contribution of Linear and Arca Assicurazioni. UnipolSai Group combined ratio, calculated using market standards, net of reinsurance and with earned premiums at denominator, grew by 3.6 percentage points compared to the first half 2014, standing at 97.8%. Main drivers for this increase were the nat cat occurred in March in Tuscany, with an important tail of reported claims in the second quarter, impacting for 1.3%. The reinsurance result negative for 0.7% and the reduced earned premium reserves due to the Allianz disposal impacting for 1.1%. Unipol Group showed similar trends and posted a combined ratio calculated according to the aforesaid criteria at 97.2%. Combined ratio from direct business, calculated on premiums from direct business and with the expense ratio calculated on written premiums, showed improved figures. UnipolSai reached 96%, a 2% increase compared to the first half of 2014. This ratio is not negatively impacted by reinsurance nor by the lower unearned premium reserves due to the portfolio sale to Allianz. The similar ratio calculated for Unipol Group was 95.3%, increasing by 1.9%. Motor vehicle third-party liabilities indicators pertaining to the sole UnipolSai, the main company of the group, experienced a significant reduction by 6% in the number of claims reported compared with the first half of 2014, which was reflected in the drop in frequency by 15 basis points. On the other hand, the decrease in average premium and partly in the insured portfolio affect the combined ratio from direct business, which grew to 94.3% in the first half of the year. I would like to mention that in motor business the company continued to push the sale of policies associated with the black box, a segment in which we are leaders, with a market share over 60% in Italy and over 40% in Europe, reaching 2.3 million of total devices installed. The other companies belonging to the Unipol Group, not included in Unipol's size scope of consolidation, such as Linear, Motor Direct Company, Unisalute, market leader in the health sector, and Arca Assicurazioni, non-life bank assurance company, posted total premium income of 309 million euro, with a combined ratio standing at excellent levels at 87.7%. On the whole, the result was positive for 31 million euro. In life business, direct income experienced a slowdown during the first half of the year, also as a consequence of the group policy, which didn't push the distribution of products associated with segregated accounts, in order not to dilute the average yields of the policyholders. Compared with the first half of 2014, the business was also impacted by the commercial performance of Lawrence Life, Irish special purpose vehicle of the Popolare Vita Group, which delivered brilliant results in the second quarter of the previous year by following the commercial policy of the Banco Popolare Group. Unipol SAI Group direct income therefore stood at 3,512 million euro, decreasing by 21% over the first half of 2014. Direct income for Unipol Group, which benefited from the contribution of the growing Arca Vita income, was 4,619 million euro, decreasing by 13%. Accordingly, Unipol SAI Group net inflows was positive for 102 million euro. Positive was also Unipol Group net inflows, owing to the good dynamics in premiums and to a decrease in redemption pertaining to the Arca Vita Group. Arca Vita is the main company operating in life business controlled by the Unipol Group, and it is not included in Unipol's size scope of consolidation. Its distribution network is made up of 2,900 outlets belonging to the groups Banca Popolare Emilia Romagna, Banca Popolare di Sondrio, and other local banks, including about 400 new outlets belonging to a number of banks located in northeastern part of Italy, with which a new agreement has recently been signed. Income for the first half of the year was 1,107 million euro, growing by 30.7% compared with the first half of 2014. Net income was positive for 822 million euro. Arca Vita closed the first half 2015 posting a profit of 29 million euro. Unipol Banca is keeping on with its strategy of containing risks and focusing on retail and PMI customers. Loans for the segment declined by 3% to 9,129 million euros compared to the end of 2014. Direct deposits decreased by 2.5% to 9,783 million euro. Gross operating income stood at 177 million euro, a reduction compared to the figure in the first half 2014, which benefited from extraordinary gains due to the sale of government bonds. After 30 million euro of provisions, net profit turned out to be 4 million euro, in line with the first half of 2014. As far as the banking sector is concerned, I would also like to point out that this first half of the year, Unipol Group provisioned further 20 million euro relating to the portfolio indemnity agreement signed with Unipol Banca for about 900 million euro, increasing the overall coverage. Moving on to the credit quality, gross impaired loans totaled 3,919 million euro, decreasing compared to 2014 year-end. Furthermore, the coverage level kept increasing, reaching 55.8% on bad loans and 42.4% on the grand total, thus getting closer to the market levels. So therefore, the half-year results seems to confirm that the considerable work carried out on the banking business has begun to pay off. Talking about real estate, to date the group owns property worth 4.4 billion euro, of which 4.2 billion euro pertain to UnipolSai Group. 54% out of this amount is allocated to non-life sector, while 38% to real estate. The remainder is allocated to life business and the other sectors. The main changes in stock included sales for 110 million euro, among which the disposal of some stakes of real estate funds implied the Porta Nuova project and the 69 million euro of write-downs that has become necessary after more careful assessment of properties such as Marina Iloano, Villa Ragionieri, headquarters of the Clinic Centro Oncologico Fiorentino, and other properties. With respect to diversified companies, I am pleased to underline the excellent result delivered by IATA Hotels, whose turnover grew by 13% and whose EBITDA stood at 3.7 million euro, compared with minus 4.1 million euro in the first half of 2014. Data pertaining to Tenuta del Cerro, Clinics and Marina Iloano, excluding the aforesaid write-downs, were almost comparable with the first half 2014, recording a total EBIT of around minus 12 million euro. Now let me take you through our financial investments. To 30 June 2015, UnipolSai Group managed about 47 billion euro of financial assets, while this amount stood at 55 billion euro at Unipol Group. Bond investments were, as usual, the favorite asset class, with a percentage ranging from 94.4% at UnipolSai Group to 92.6% at Unipol Group. Therein, the Italian government component slightly decreased to 71.1% for UnipolSai and to 72.3% for Unipol Group. Meanwhile, financials grew to 17.1% at UnipolSai and 16.4% at Unipol Group. Income from financial investments still showed an excellent trend in the second quarter, sustained by the dividend campaign relating to equity investments, which partially offset the decreased contribution of gains compared with the first quarter. Overall, in this first half, non-life investments showed a 7.2% profitability at UnipolSai and 6.9% at Unipol Group. Life investment yields were 5.9% at UnipolSai and 5.6% at Unipol Group. UnipolSai total equity as at end of June 2015 amounted to 6,188 million euro. The main change therein included a positive contribution of the net result for the period for 455 million euro, a negative contribution for dividends paid amounting to 511 million euro, and a negative contribution due to the decrease in AFS reserve for 373 million euro. AFS reserve was impacted by the increase in market yields occurred at the end of June 2015. However, towards the end of July, a recovery was recorded for almost 250 million euro due to market conditions going back to levels more similar to the first quarter of the year. Unipol Group total equity was 8,106 million euro at the end of June 2015. This amount was affected by the net profit for the period of 446 million euro and by the negative contribution of dividend payment for 351 million euro and the adverse change in AFS reserve for 408 million euro, for reasons that are similar to those exposed with respect to UnipolSai. Solvency for both listed companies remained at high levels, standing at 1.76 times the minimum required for UnipolSai and 1.69 for Unipol Group. We maintain an excess capital of 2.8 billion euro at UnipolSai and 3 billion euro at Unipol Group. That brings me to the end of my presentation. Thanks for listening. Please let me remind you that our CEO and the top management will be pleased to reply to financial analysts and institutional investors' questions during the conference call scheduled at noon Continental Time.